Food Room. I am Arlene. This is a series where we talk about all things food, raw, cooked. We talk about flavors, restaurants, spices. I also share some food news with you so you know what's happening locally here in Trinidad and Tobago and even around the world. All the new foodie trends and things like that. Today's episode, I want to talk about one of my favorite desserts, and that is ice cream. Definitely, to me, such a great idea altogether. So whoever invented it, great job. So there are a couple theories as to where ice cream started, and I can share some of those with you. So one is in China, freezing rice milk and by packing it in the snow. That was one way that it's the theory that ice cream started there. And then it was said that the Romans used slaves to get fresh snow from the mountaintops, which they flavored. This has been considered the first form of ice cream. Another theory is that Marco Polo is believed to have seen it in China and introduced it to Italy. One of the things that I really love about food is that when you take it from one place and you put it to another place, there's sometimes just a single ingredient or a method that changes it and makes it indigenous to that particular country, no matter where it comes from. And to me, it just kind of expands the experience. On an ingredient or a dish of some kind. We see a lot of variations of kind of the same thing throughout the Caribbean. Just a little bit of history. Ice cream was made available to the public in France in the year 1660, but in the West, no evidence of ice cream came about until 1777 via an ad in the New York Gazette. Ice cream remained a rare and exotic dessert enjoyed mostly by the elite until the 1800s. So what usually I find, there's always something very premium about things when it just starts, and then it kind of trickles down and everybody loves it and it's available to everyone. So thank goodness for that. Now, today I want to just differentiate like the difference between ice cream itself, the original ice cream, and what all the different variations, because there's like gelato and sorbet and frozen yogurt and things like that, and I think they have all been inspired by the ice cream idea. So just let's see how we can clear that up today. So ice cream and gelato are custard based. However, gelato has less milk fat and churned with less air, and is also served at a slightly higher temperature than ice cream. Therefore, it is softer and glossier. Ice cream has about 10% milk fat and churned while being frozen. So right there, to me, like, here in Trinidad, we say Italian ice cream, but it really is gelato, and they have, taken, and like I said, it's just a method. So they looked at the ice cream and they had this method. And just like that, it's something that's indigenous to, the Italians. And then we have the difference between sorbet and a sherbet. So a sorbet is churned fruit and sugar with no dairy and can be used as a palate cleanser when having several courses, while a sherbet has a little bit of dairy in there. So see, sometimes it's just one ingredient to make all the difference, and it's a totally different name and everything, with that. Then we have frozen custard. So this super creamy treat is exactly the same as ice cream except for the addition of egg yolk to the base. It tends to be dense and soft. So just like that, it's egg yolk, and it's different, and it's it's considered something else just by that one ingredient. And then we have soft serve ice cream, which is less dense due to air being introduced during the freezing process. Now, I used to love soft serve, and I don't know that I loved it because it tasted well, or it used to come out of the machine and make all the kind of swirls, and I think maybe that was the attraction. But it was a big thing for a long time, and I don't know that we still have it here. At least I haven't seen it. We have granata, which is the Italian ice. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly. And that to me sounds like a very uptown snow cone. So what it is, it's like sorbet, and granita is often made from a puree of fruit, sugar, and water. The difference in their texture, unlike sorbets, which are smooth churned, The granita purees are scraped repeatedly during the freezing process, loosening their structure into icy flakes. So maybe it's pre-flavored, infused snow cone type something. So I want to share something really interesting that I found about ice cream sundaes. And you know what the ice cream sundae is? It's, all these different things put together, and it's very elaborate. So there was the blue law that stated sucking sodas can be considered sinful on the Sabbath, and they made it illegal to sell ice cream sodas on a Sunday in the American town of Evanston during the late 19th century. There was a lot of stuff that was considered sinful. I remembered watching this movie called Chocolat, and Johnny Depp was in that movie. It's a very old movie. And this woman moved into this town, and she was selling chocolate, and they really just frowned upon chocolate. Who knew? So to get around the problem of the ice cream sundae, sucking sodas being illegal, the traders replaced the soda with syrup, and they called the dessert ice cream sundae. And eventually they replaced the Y in Sunday with an E to avoid upsetting religious leaders. Even in food, there is politics and controversy and religion. Everything is in there. So in my search to find out all these things about ice cream, I found some really interesting ice cream concepts. So generally here in Trinidad and Tobago, we have, and we are very proud of, all our local ice cream shops. Bees, Mamas, we used to have these little guys that just had like a little umbrella and a small freezer on the side of the streets. And this was, we're very big on homemade ice cream using ingredients that we have right here on the island, like soursop, barbadine, coconut. Coconut ice cream is amazing, by the way. If you've never had it, you're missing out. And so we kind of have that tradition. But as you go around the world, just people experimenting and doing different things, I found these concepts for these ice creams, so that I'd love to share with you. So Chirrups Ice Cream is a London-based Caribbean ice cream company. And it comes from the idea that sometimes women need a little cheering up. So according to the founder of this ice cream shop, this is the basis on which he named his ice cream store. And I can tell you guys, ladies like ice cream. We can't say no to it. It's very rare that I know anybody who doesn't like ice cream. And if you bring a little ice cream, it improves the mood. It might, ease things up a little bit. So I definitely agree with that concept. And then in Tokyo's Namja Town Amusement Park, they have a store called Ice Cream City Flavors, and some of their flavors include horseflesh, cow tongue, and octopus. Now, I'm not necessarily an adventurous eater, but I try it, but I don't know that I'll have like a whole scoop of cow tongue ice cream. I have to kind of see, is it bits of cow tongue? Is it, throughout the entire cream? Did it puree it? And I don't, I have to see that. I'm very interested to see, I would visit these places. I may not eat everything, but who's to say? And then there's a company called Salt and Straw, and they specialize in salty sweet combinations. And this ice cream shop is in Portland, Oregon. And one of their most popular flavors is pear and blue cheese. Now I find that I would try. I would try that in an ice cream, because that pairing makes sense in my mind. So and I think I would really enjoy that. Then there's the ice cream store located in Delaware, and they have flavors like ghost pepper, devil's breath, Carolina Reaper. I don't know how I feel about spicy ice cream. Is it balanced by the sweet? I would try it. Because I'm curious for sure about that. And then we have Ben and Bill's Chocolate Emporium, and they are famous for their lobster ice cream. Again, is it chunks of lobster in there? Or is it, all through, pureed and mixed in, evenly? How does that work? I'll take a little taste. I don't know if I'll eat the whole thing. And then we have different brands that carry wine ice cream, which I really enjoy, and champagne ice cream, which I'm sure is probably pretty expensive. But yeah, those are some of the concepts that, exist around the world. And they're all very interesting, and I really like when people, go the extra mile. I know there was a restaurant that was making these different types of infused ice creams to go with some of their meats that they were doing. So they had like a tomato and basil ice cream. So when they grill, maybe it was like a piece of salmon or something, they put this little scoop of ice cream on top. And I always, I looked into that, and I thought it was really, really interesting. So, when you're growing up, there's so many memories surrounded by ice cream, and everybody's experience, I think, is somewhat similar. And for me, it used to be this little, what we call a bread van. I don't know what is the correct model of this vehicle, but we call it a bread van. And there was the music, of course, and they would come around through the neighborhood, and you'd buy this one scoop of ice cream, and it used to be like $1 for this ice cream. And my grandmother would always buy ice cream for me. But we also had a guy that used to sell lollies. So he came, the ones with the bike, where they ride the bike, and then the freezer thing is at the front. And he would ride through our street like a maniac. Willies on one side. I don't think anything stayed in order, if it was ever in order, down inside that freezer. But he was well loved in the area, and he did that for a really, really long time. And I remember just, he's coming, and you want to see him drive down the road, because he does all these tricks, and all the kids will come outside, myself included, and just, enjoy the show. I know my first brother, we used to have to cover his ears when the ice cream truck passed, because they would pass every day, and you can't have ice cream every day. As a child, as an adult, you can pretty much do whatever you want. But we would have to kind of cover his ear and take him into the back and kind of hide, and otherwise, he running outside all naked and everything outside in the yard just to try and get some ice cream. So it was, quite a fun childhood for me where ice cream was concerned. I think it's a really great family time thing as well, where the whole family go out and get ice cream. And I think it's a very nice date as well, like a precursor to, like a dinner date. I think it's simple enough, it's casual enough, and I often encourage young men and women, girls, that going out for ice cream is a nice date. At least I think so. It's cost effective, especially if you're not really working, like in a job that pays a lot of money. It's a good cheap date, in my opinion. And so there are some people that's lactose intolerant, or they're following the vegan lifestyle, and there is a lot of really good vegan ice cream options available on the market. And I'm always really impressed by how vegans do their substitution. They're now using cashew milk and infusing it with a little coffee and giving you the caramel swirls and things like that. So they are making it ice cream attainable to everyone, no matter your dietary limitations or choices or whatever. So I love to see that ice cream has evolved in such a great way, and I always enjoy it, and I always get mine. One scoop of ice cream on a cone. That is my limit. That's everything in moderation. So that was my topic for today, ice cream. So let's jump into the news, and I will start with some local news. So, spotted in the streets of Trinidad, you are now paying $20 TT for 4 pomerac. I don't know. I am always disgruntled about buying certain fruits, or any local fruit or vegetable for that matter. Some of them. Because, as a child, I didn't have to pay for these things. But now it's $4 pomerac for $20. I don't know. Unfortunately, Best Fest has postponed their 2020 Taste of Trinidad and Tobago event themed homegrown, carded for July 18, 2020. This is due to the global impact of COVID-19 pandemic. If you don't know what the Best Fest event is, it is just an amazing platform for chefs and restaurants and food trucks and everybody to come together and do drinks and snacks, and it is really an amazing experience. I think I bought some plants in that event. I had Jira pork Alfredo one time. Listen, they come out, they show up. There's ice cream, there's lollies, there's all kinds of things. That event is amazing, and unfortunately they had to postpone because of what's happening now. The Department of Marine Resources and Fisheries issued an advisory to the public stating that any marine species, including fish, that has been brought ashore by the influx of sargassum on the beaches are deemed unfit for human consumption. So now what so if you don't know, we have like a seaweed type substance that comes into shores. I think it's once or twice a year, but this time I find it was really, really bad. Like, it was very thick, and it was taking over the coastline. And there was even a video circulating where somebody was getting like just picking up fish, and I hope that they didn't consume this fish, because basically what they're saying is that these fishes, all the different species, they have probably been dead for a long time, and they've already started releasing toxins that's really bad for our consumption. They've been under duress and stress and whatever it is, muscle build-up toxins, things like that. So it's really, just don't fish them out, discard of them. What's really cool though is that they are actually using that sargassum to create fertilizers and things like that. I don't really know the process just yet. I'm still doing a little research, but I know that it's being used for that purpose. So when you see it, leave it alone. And of course, don't sell it to anybody. They have some unscrupulous ones out here. So, just be vigilant of things like that. It's been reported that food cards have been assigned to 41 members of parliament for distribution. So far, along with some other means of assistance in the form of 1,400 other hampers are being distributed. Also, the Ministry of Social Development and Agriculture, along with NAMDEVCO and local farmers, will work on distributing up to 30,000 local food baskets with 2 chickens and a supermarket voucher with $250 over the next 4 months. So this is just continued efforts to make sure that the nation is being fed. So if these things are indeed happening, because it's one thing to say it in the news and another thing to execute, as we all know, if it is happening, then kudos to you all. I think this is a fantastic initiative, and if it can be executed, before anyone really gets into dire constraints, that would be so excellent. So I'm sure we all know that with the closure of all restaurants and food service, Doubles has been closed. And if you don't know anything about Trinidad and Tobago, you know that we are very serious about Doubles. It is, it's breakfast, it's lunch, it's dinner, it's post-party, after, before, during, it's a snack, it's all kinds of things. It is a vital part of the island. So, recently on Facebook, somebody posted a product that is a packaged Doubles product. So it's like a 3-section container, I think, with some bara on this side and chana, and then you have all the little sauces, the sweet sauce, the pepper sauce, the cucumber thing, also available in the packet, and it's available at a gas station in Trinidad. Now, some people were saying, this is so great and this is innovative and this, that, and the other, but really, is it innovation or is it just gentrifying Doubles? And do we really want to gentrify Doubles like that? I am a purist with some things, and I enjoy tradition, and I feel like we have to be very careful with what conveniences we do, because I always tell when I travel or people come to visit, I always tell them, no matter where you are financially or socially, you have to come and stand at the side of the road to get this Doubles. And this is, part of what makes us so unified in this country. And, that and Carnival, of course. But you know, for me, I like to, you know, go stand on the side of the road. I get my doubles. You know, there's even an etiquette that goes on in there. You know, you can't just block everybody. There's a eating side and a takeaway side. You know, and that has been built over the years, and it has existed in our culture for so long that I don't know that I would necessarily support a pre-packaged doubles. And I don't think any of my friends would, because I remember we took a trip to another part of Trinidad for a weekend, and we went down into the village to get doubles, and this man had pre-wrapped doubles, and we were in an uproar. We were like, no, I want you to wrap my doubles fresh, you know. And we are that passionate about this doubles. So, you know, I'm observing on Facebook. Some people like it, some people say no. I say no. I will wait on things until things go back to normal, and then I will enjoy my doubles. So let me just share some international news with you. So spotted in Canada, blueberry Cheerios. If you're a Cheerio lover, it now comes in blueberry. Made with real blueberry puree and other natural flavors. It's also gluten-free. And whole grain oats is the first ingredient on there. I think that means that there's more whole grain oats than any other ingredient in the product. There's no artificial flavors or colors from artificial sources. So that seems to be a nice, healthy. The box is really nice too. It's a nice color. It would definitely stand out on the shelves. Tropical Fruit Box is a Miami-based online food company that delivers to your home tropical fruits and roots, which include avocados, breadfruits, poppos, limes, even soursops, cassava, and more. So you can feel free to check that out. It's tropicalfruitbox.com. Now, a lot of times in my other cooking videos, like when I do the breadfruit oil down, people would have asked, you know, where would I get the breadfruit to try this? And so I think this company delivers, and so far all of the testimonials have been great. The boxes look great. You know, you can customize your box, or you can, you know, fix it, or they send you like these preset ones. But definitely you can get breadfruit from them, and I think this is such an excellent. Now cost, I can't say for cost, but you know, I think it's really cool. So those of you who wanted to try my breadfruit recipe before, you can check out tropicalfruitbox.com and order you up some breadfruit, and of course the Joshua Bush leaves if they have it, and you know, you can have your oil down. Right? Eat more cheese, says the French, as cheese sales have gone down by 60%, as many types of cheeses have been affected. A campaign hashtag, I'm definitely going to mispronounce this word, fromagisons. It's FROMAGISSONS, and it basically translates to hashtag Let's Act for Cheese, which is a campaign asking persons to buy more traditional cheese in an effort to keep the cheese and dairy farmers in business. Cheesemakers are working on ways to make the cheese more affordable to persons with lower incomes. So what I really admire there is that, you know, they're not asking you to just buy the cheese at these prices because they want to stay in business, but they're also finding ways to get it to everyone so that they don't have to suffer a wastage. And from what I've read, they had 2,000 tons of cheese to be distributed in April, and they still have 1,500 tons. So that is, you know, a huge loss that they're going to experience, and you know, making it more affordable for other persons is, you know, good teamwork, guys. So that is my news for today. And as we wrap up, I want to remind you that it is trying times for everyone, and so be nice, be friendly, have a little teamwork. Alright, so before I go, let me let you chew on this. Did you know that there are 12 different types of salt? Yep, a topic we will definitely get into in one of the latest episodes to come. I want to say thank you to the Octopus Grill for giving us the space to film, and I want to thank I Love Tobago TT for my really nice piece of apparel, my tank top, which I absolutely love. It's super comfortable. And if you're still hungry Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the little bell so that you're notified every time we post a new video. If you want to check me out on Instagram, I'm Trini, food designer Arlene, and if you want to see what the octopus grill serves, it's the octopus grill Tobago. So this has been my show, guys, and just a little extra sauce on that, I Love Tobago TT.com is offering free listings for restaurants and other small businesses. So all you have to do is reach out to them. They're on Instagram, I Love Tobago TT, or you go through the website, send that inquiry, and my boy Abraham will hook you up and give you a free listing. And we all know that when we come through this process, we're all going to need as much, advertising and exposure that we can get to make sure that our businesses continue to strive. So I am Arlene. This has been the Food Room, and remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy ice cream, and that's pretty much the same thing. Bye.